guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Miss Plain Jane, and today we're going to be discussing being pregnant in Korea, South Korea to be exact. Like I said earlier in my other videos, I was pregnant twice actually. My first pregnancy, we lost our first child, and the second pregnancy we had a rainbow baby, Malia, and both of those pregnancies was in South Korea. I am a military spouse, so that is why she was born there. Me and my husband were actually trying for a while to get pregnant after we got married, and it just so happened that we ended up getting pregnant in Korea, out of all places. So when I found out I was pregnant, I took a pregnancy test, and then, like I said, being a military spouse, I had to go to the military base or post, whichever term you want to use, and confirm my pregnancy. So after I confirm my pregnancy on post with the nurses, they'll either do a blood test or a urine sample. And then after the confirmation, it's like everybody's situation gets different from here. So if you have a normal pregnancy, you literally just go through the motion. You know, get your OB or your PCM, and then you go to your weekly appointments until, you know, your birth. However, I had a high-risk pregnancy, so my situation was a little different, and I ended up later down the line getting referred off post to Don Cook Hospital. So what happened was, I was going in for my regular appointments, and just like the first pregnancy, I'm thinking everything is okay. I know that in pregnancy you will experience some extra fluid coming out down there, but for me, now that I know, for me extra fluid was the amniotic fluid leaking, and that's actually what happened the first time as well. So I think around my 4 months, maybe 5 months being pregnant, no, even later, so maybe around 6 months, I went in and actually asked the doctor if it was normal. The doctor that I had was, you know, it was, like I said, everything was normal. Every appointment I went to, every checkup I went to, the baby was doing fine. Malia was doing fine. But I had that feeling that I had the first pregnancy, and women always follow your gut. Mommies always follow your gut. It never steers you wrong. Your woman intuition, all of that, it never steers you wrong. I had that same feeling I had my first pregnancy, and something told me to ask my doctor, and she ended up doing an amniotic fluid test, and it was positive. It was amniotic fluid. So they did not want what happened last time, which was me losing my first child, to happen again. So they ended up admitting me that same day. They were like, you know, where's your husband? I think actually they took the test, and they said it was gonna take like a couple of hours. So I went back home, and as soon as the test came back positive, they were, hurry up and come back to the ER. We'll take you as soon as you get to the ER. And I called my husband all the way to the ER, and of course he's freaking out. So we're going to the ER, and there was like a whole bunch of like medical staff there, like the doctor, the nurses, all that stuff, which I really appreciate, because they really do not want what happened last time to happen again. So I appreciate them for that. So ended up being admitted to the ER. They are watching Malia closely, like giving me IVs, giving me things to stop, well, not even stop the leaking, but basically to ensure that if Malia were to come right then and there, that she had her steroids for her lungs, antibiotics, because of what tends to happen in a situation like this. Infection starts to set in when your amniotic fluid is leaking, so they want to prevent that from happening. So antibiotics, her steroid shots for her lungs, and basically just bed rest. So Malia could have came right then and there. And when they looked on that screen, Malia was just bouncing around, like chilling. She was like, oh, what's going on out there? Oh, that's it? Okay, cool. She was not concerned. Malia was not stressed. She was not concerned at all. So the doctor was just like, she's looking good. She's looking good in there, you know, due to the circumstances. So I ended up getting admitted to Don Cook. And once I got there, I was on bed rest for the rest of my pregnancy. It's a little blurry with the time. I just know I was on bed rest for a long time. So I was on bed rest for, I know, for like a couple of weeks, maybe 4.5 weeks. Don Cook had really good care as far as my pregnancy is concerned. The nurses, but the doctor, I love my doctor so much. She really went out of her way to make sure that I was taken care of. I think the head nurse did the same, as well as after Malia was born, they took her right away. So I got to hold her for like a little bit, maybe like 5 seconds, and they took her right away because they, you know, she came early. So I was due in May and she came in April. 33 weeks and 6 days, and they wanted to induce my labor at 34 weeks. So Malia was like, I ain't got time. So she came at 33 weeks and 6 days. They put her in the little incubator thing and rolled her off. I think Tufan went with them, and she stayed in the NICU for a couple of days. Surprisingly, I thought it was going to be longer, but she was there for like a couple of days, so like a week, and then the following week she came home with us that Wednesday. So next pregnancy, if I get pregnant again, I'm going to have to do a cerclage, which basically ties up your cervix for your whole pregnancy. So your baby's nice and tucked and the fluid's nice and in, and no juices come out. I later found out that I had a short cervix. So basically, that's what's causing the leak. So as the baby grows, my cervix is basically opening up and fluid is leaking out. Here is the miraculous thing about this, and I really do believe that Malia was God sent. Like I said, I saw her in a dream, and I believe that God gives you dreams and you pray on them. My first week in the hospital, at the end of every week, or at least once a week, the doctor comes in or takes you out to go get an ultrasound done, and she checks your cervix. So she checked my cervix, and she also checks out to see if I'm dilated and how much fluid is lost. So between the first week and the second week, the doctor's starting to notice that the fluid that is leaking is becoming minimal. So mind you, I'm on bed rest the whole time I'm there. The third week, I have very, very small amounts of liquid coming out, to the point where every time they asked if I wanted a pad, I would say no because I didn't need it. There was no liquid coming out. And so the last time I saw my doctor, she was impressed, and I kid you not, this is what she said. She said to me that your cervix is actually closed up. It actually healed up, closed up, and she feels like the bed rest was the best thing that you could have done in the hospital. So in my head, I'm like, what? Like, that can actually happen? Like, it can close? What? So they were going to discharge me, and when they discharged me, I was happy because I was happy to be home. But as soon as I got home, was I on bed rest? Yes, I was on bed rest at home. But as soon as I got home, I wanted to walk around, I want to stretch my legs, and then I think a week later after that, it was right back in the ER. I was right back in the ER, And it was okay because by that time, Malia was about to come like a week after that. So I was in the ER for another 2 weeks. I was not the ER. I was admitted to the hospital. Being admitted into a Korean hospital, I was thankful that the nurses and the doctor, my OB from Post, actually escorted us into it, so we didn't have to wait to be seen, and they had a room ready for us and all that. It was really, really nice of them. And then they don't use the IVs for that. They don't use the IVs that came with me, so I was transported in an ambulance. So they had IVs, and then they switched those out to their IVs. And then their beds are so hard. Their beds are so hard. Korean beds are so hard. I don't know what it is, from the mattress to the hospital beds. Korean beds are hard, okay? They are hard. So one of the head nurses got an inflatable air mattress to put on the Korean bed for me. So once I found out I was pregnant, it was really, 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 really hard being pregnant in Korea. I wanted to share this with my family back at home, actually being pregnant in the States, and I couldn't do that because we're on the other side of the world, you know. Yes, there's video chat, yes, social media, but it's nothing like home cooked meals, actually craving things that you want and you're able to get it. I was so over Korean food. So over it. I was so miserable being pregnant and not be able to eat what I wanted to. I know that also in Korea they celebrate the 100 days of life of a newborn. They also they really frown upon having newborns outside after they're born right away, or I think before the 100 days of life, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it was really, really, really hard. But I would say would be one of the worst things being pregnant in Korea, is wanting like Chick-fil-A or like curry chicken or oxtail and rice and peas and curry goat, and you can't eat it because you're not home. So man, it was difficult. There was a lot of things that you cannot eat, and like I said, we're in a different country, so a lot of the stuff, Asian food, is mostly, for the most part, raw. So you have your sashimi, you have your seafood, all that stuff. And I love seafood, I love sushi, I love all of it, and I couldn't eat it. I could eat bean sprouts because I had to make sure they were cooked all the way, and I just didn't trust the restaurants enough for them to cook it all the way. There were so many things going on when leading up to Malia being born. So it was just hectic. But I will say that we had great support with our friends there. Our close friends, Katadra, Alexis, Yuki, and their husbands, Marcus, Sam, and Vaughn. They threw the best baby shower, the best baby shower that I could never ask for. Like, it was beautiful, and I was overwhelmed. And it wasn't just a baby shower, it was a gender reveal. And I knew Malia was gonna be a girl. I just knew it. I had dreams about it. I knew she was gonna be a girl. And I was right. I was right. And my friend Katadra was like, you looked at the envelope, and I was like, no, I did. I just know. I know she was gonna be a girl. So kudos to them. I love you guys and appreciate you guys so much for that. That really, it just warmed our hearts, and it actually gave us a reason to appreciate what we had in Korea, besides missing what we didn't back in the States. So They were awesome. It's not that different being pregnant in the States. However, food wise, and I think that's basically it. Food wise, if you're craving some stuff, I know for me, I was SOL. I don't know if that's gonna be the same for you. Maybe you'll like Korean food and your baby will love it too. But I just know for me, I couldn't do that. I was so miserable. And even when I was on bed rest at the hospital, the food, I guess they even have a menu for pregnant women. So their menu is bland food for pregnant women, because you're not supposed to eat a lot of spicy foods. You're not supposed to eat fried foods and things like that. But I kind of wanted to say, like, I'm not Korean and I need food. So Tufan would actually have to go to like McDonald's or something to give me something like a McFlurry or a McChicken, or he would have to cook from home and bring the food in to me, because I just could not stomach their food. I just couldn't do it. I could not do it. And I think that's why Malia is greedy till this day, because she was so hungry, because Mama was hungry while we were in the hospital. I feel like the hardest thing being pregnant in Korea was the food, because I love to eat. The food and being away from your family, especially during this situation. If you're a military spouse and you are PCS into Korea and you are pregnant and you are in the same similar situation as me, just know that you're not alone and you're not by yourself. There's many women like myself that have gone through this. So, you know, leave a comment if you have any more questions. Even if you're not in or not going to Korea, or you're not PCS into Korea, just ask. And that was my thing. This is my first child, you know, not my first pregnancy, my first child, and you can never have enough information. You can never know enough, especially being pregnant your first time. So this is just for you guys. This is for all the first time mommies out there, high risk pregnancy mommies out there, or just pregnant in general. You know, leave a comment, like and subscribe if you liked this video. I'm also going to post my postpartum video as well later on. But this is for you guys, just to know that my situation is your situation as well. You're not alone. You're not by yourself. All right. So I'll talk to you guys later. Love you. Bye.